Welcome to this peaceful journey into the wisdom of Stoicism. Today we'll explore the profound Stoic principle of self-sufficiency, a practice that helps us find inner peace by relying on our internal resources. As you listen, take slow, deep breaths and let these ancient teachings guide you toward tranquility. Before we begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were constantly chasing something, success, material things, or the approval of others, only to feel unfulfilled once you achieved it? If that sounds familiar, then we're going to explore how the Stoics can help shift your perspective. By the end of this, you'll understand how to rely on your internal strength for peace. If you're enjoying this content so far and want to dive deeper into Stoic wisdom and personal growth, please like and subscribe to Results Rebooted. Your support helps us bring you more relaxing, insightful content. Now, let's continue this journey together. Self-sufficiency, or autarkeia, is a central idea in Stoic philosophy. For the Stoics, happiness does not depend on external factors such as wealth, status, or possessions. Instead, it comes from within, through the cultivation of an inner state of contentment. Imagine someone standing peacefully in the middle of a storm. The wind may be fierce, the rain cold, yet within, they remain calm. This is the essence of autarkeia. No matter the challenges of the external world, we can remain centered and peaceful by relying on our own internal resources. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, once said, "Happiness is a good flow of life." This means that happiness is not something to be chased in the outside world. Instead, it is a state that comes naturally from within when we align our actions with our core values. By embracing self-sufficiency, the Stoics teach us that we already possess everything we need for a fulfilling and content life. It's just a matter of recognizing it and living accordingly. We often associate happiness with external achievements, wealth, success, recognition, or even relationships. Society tells us these are the keys to fulfillment, but how many times have you achieved a goal only to find that the sense of happiness fades? The Stoics remind us that these external things are fleeting and largely out of our control. Epictetus observed that many of our desires are misplaced because they focus on things outside of our influence. For instance, we may desire wealth, but economic conditions are unpredictable. We may crave recognition, but others' opinions can change rapidly. Stoicism doesn't suggest rejecting external success altogether. Instead, it calls for a shift in focus. Rather than being attached to outcomes we can't control, we should focus on cultivating inner peace, which is something we can always nurture. When we stop depending on the external world for our happiness, we free ourselves from disappointment. By turning inward, we realize that true contentment lies in how we choose to respond to life's ups and downs. One way the Stoics suggest cultivating self-sufficiency is through the practice of voluntary discomfort. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, recommended periodically giving up certain comforts to remind ourselves that we can be content without them. This might involve fasting for a day, walking instead of driving, or even sleeping without a pillow. By practicing voluntary discomfort, we train ourselves to realize that we don't need external luxuries to be happy. We build resilience and strengthen our ability to remain content even when life throws challenges our way. Another powerful Stoic exercise is negative visualization. This involves imagining the loss of something you value, a job, relationship, or even your health. While it may seem grim, this practice prepares us emotionally for life's inevitable changes. By mentally rehearsing loss, we reduce its impact and remind ourselves that while we can't control everything, we can control how we respond. Together, these practices help us cultivate inner independence. We learn to rely less on external factors and more on our own capacity to endure and thrive, regardless of the circumstances. Stoics valued simplicity, believing that a life free from excess leads to greater clarity and peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius, despite his immense power and wealth, found comfort in simple things: nature, quiet contemplation, and the pursuit of virtue. By embracing simplicity, we strip away unnecessary distractions and focus on what truly matters. The less we are attached to material possessions or external validations, the more freedom we find in our daily lives. Simplicity doesn't mean living in poverty. It's about living in gratitude for what we already have. The constant pursuit of more can blind us to the abundance that is already present in our lives. As you listen, imagine letting go of the things that weigh you down: worry, fear, and desire. Picture how much lighter and more peaceful your life would be if your happiness no longer depended on having more, but instead came from appreciating what is already within reach. One of the greatest gifts of self-sufficiency is the ability to live fully in the present moment. The Stoics often reflected on the impermanence of life. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The present moment is all we have, and we must live it well." When we are no longer consumed by the chase for external validation or the fear of future loss, we can truly be present. This sense of presence allows us to fully appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds, moment by moment. The Stoics remind us that by focusing on the here and now, we find peace. Right now, in this moment, you are enough. There's nothing more you need to be happy other than to recognize the value of this very breath, this very heartbeat. As you sit here, take a deep breath and feel the simplicity of being alive. Imagine yourself as a tree with deep roots swaying gently in the wind. No matter what storms may come, you are grounded, steady, and at peace. This is the power of self-sufficiency, standing firm, no matter what life brings. Now that we've reached the end of this journey, take a moment to reflect on what self-sufficiency means to you. The Stoics teach us that happiness isn't something we need to search for. It's something we already have within ourselves. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our responses, we become the masters of our own happiness. External circumstances may change, but the inner strength we cultivate will always be with us. Self-sufficiency doesn't mean isolating ourselves from the world. Instead, it means engaging with life from a place of inner strength and resilience. By realizing that we already possess everything we need, we free ourselves from the pursuit of fleeting desires. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to Results Rebooted. Your support helps us continue creating content that nourishes both the mind and spirit. Remember, you are enough. Right here, right now. Let that thought bring you peace as you continue on your journey.